Underground, overground, Womble and free. Womble to Wimbledon, common are we. Well, do we have common sense? Let's have a chat and find out.
Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. If this is your first time here, I'm the big fella that is the vocal talent, Scruffy Trader. And what I'm trying to do is put trading in the real world. Maybe show you a trick or two along the way. So if that sounds good, do take a second to hit that little subscribe button and we'll crack on. And talking of worlds, here's my world.
You have caused confusion and delay, and terrible trouble to my trousers.
Oh, is that for me?
It is, yeah.
Fantastic, because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. And it's Saturday, and I've got me coffee, so it must be coffee with Scruff. And today we've got coffee with Scruff and Winky, because apparently she's invading the office today. She wants
Not actually.
What do you mean you're not?
I'm just about shopping.
You serious?
Get stupid, cow.
And I thought, you know what, it might be a bit early. I could shake it with and keep you company.
You know what will keep you company in a minute.
Cheeky fuckers.
You know, you think my life is easy. It's not, you know. Have you got any idea how much she costs? She costs an utter fortune. You know, just as well she's pretty... Hold on. Scruffy as a tit. I was going to say something really rude there, and it involved her, but since she's in striking distance, I'll hold me tongue and have me coffee and tell you a little bit about what we're doing today. So what?
I'm off shopping.
Oh, you really are going shopping?
Why would I tell this?
Yeah. Right, okay. See you later, sweetheart. Leave me card over there. You've got no idea, boys and girls. You have got no idea.
Oh, make it stop.
Anyway, every day is a joy in this house. It really is. And why? Well, I think the world's too miserable. When you watch the news, what's the point? Surely there's got to be some good news somewhere. And there is every day, and you find it within yourself. And that's something I kind of want to touch on today. With it being the end of the month, I'm going to show you where I'm up to with Morningstar. It's actually done quite well. And I'm going to show you where I'm up to with the prop challenge that you saw me start a little while ago. Now, I said I was going to do it in 2 parts and a half. Now, the first part, I knew I wasn't going to pass it because it was a new type of trading style. It was called freestyle at the time, which uses a netting account. Now, I don't use netting accounts, so I needed to get my head round it. I also needed to get my head round what the rules were. So if you go through the videos, you'll see that I said I'm going to do what's called a beta test. In other words, I'm going to make every mistake under the sun so I can figure out the parameters of what that prop challenge is. And then I'll do the alpha test, which is what I'm doing now, and make certain that my journaling was correct and I can put what I find into practice. So let me show you the stats, and then I'm going to just talk a little bit about the mindset behind it all, and how, well, let's just call it common sense, because I did an interview yesterday with another YouTube channel called Desire to Trade with Eaton. It's a little salute to you, my friend. And that was part of the gist of the conversation. So it'd be good to catch up with that interview. I'll put a link on the channel when it gets available. Anyway, let me flick this over and we'll have a little look. Now, Morningstar, as you know, has just been chugging along and it's been doing very well. That's my strength sheet if you've never seen it before. It's just the way I work things out. But where's it up to? Well, here we are. We're at the end of the month now. I've had a very good month. And what happens is I've been compounding this each time I go to market. And it moves your account up. It builds up every month. And some of you will automatically pop out and go, oh, June weren't very good there, big fella. You had a hard time in June.
If you can't take a little bloody nose, maybe you ought to go back home and crawl under your bed.
Not really, because I had most of June off. If you've been following the channel, and if you look at my second channel, the Scruffy Adventures, there is a link for that below as well. Just where you can see some of the stupid things I get up to be honest with Winky. We took most of June off, you know, and I was trading not only sort of here, but we went off to Cyprus, and then we were back a week or so and got a bit sick, booked another holiday and buggered off to Turkey. So I was having a jolly time in June. That's what tradings gave me. And if you remember when this started, the idea was to double the account. It's done it. You know, we're at 738. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep it running in the background, and it's going to help pay for the trip that we're taking at the end of the year to New York. Why not? Why not indeed? So that's done quite well. And if you're unsure what compounding is, it is there. Basically, it's a way to keep you in check. And I've used this on the prop challenge as well. It's how I do keep things in check. And then I look at a wage maker to make certain that I'm on track. In other words, once I get the pip count to a certain level that I need, which for argument's sake, if we're looking on here, I'll just change the figures so you can see it. Say you want, I don't know, 5 grand in a year. There's 5 grand. You've got an average win of 10 pips, and you're only going to trade once a day. Well, you want 5 grand a year. You just need £2.9 once a day for 10 pips. And after 48 working weeks, because I do work sort of like a self-employed working year, we don't get paid if we're off. So it's 48 weeks. They'll give you 5 grand. Common sense. Stops you over trading. Stops you putting too big a position on your account. All part of the planning. Now, what's this got to do with the prop fund? Well, if I sort of pull something up just a second.
Well, we're waiting.
I'll just find it for you. I actively work in here, or I spend a bit of time in here for the 5%ers. And if you're unsure who the 5%ers are, they are my preferred prop fund. And why? I trust them. And if, again, there's links in the description if you want to try them, and there is a 5% discount as well. So why? Right, so as you can see here, I'll try and answer the questions and keep it going. Also, Yanis, who's part of the Scruffy squad, and a good salute to you. We're very proud of Yanis. He's doing incredibly well, and he's also an Olympian, so he is right on the cusp of winning everything. You know, winning is in his DNA. And he set himself up a little Instagram account, the Conscious Day Trader, and you'll be able to follow his journey. So that's kind of worth checking out. But as we go through down here, Fu Thao, and I really hope I haven't butchered your name, but keep those questions coming, kid. Anyway, it was answered. Seriously, what's your strategy based on? Well, if you want to see my strategy, you'll find that in the Scruffy squad. But what he was looking at, and if we go through, there's God knows how many comments here. It was somewhere down. He was more interested in. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm after. What happens if it goes sour? You know, just because you're winning Doesn't mean to say it's going to keep on trucking. You have to know where your kill zones are. And that's why when you see me mark a chart out, I know exactly what the parameters are that I'm going to work within. And when the price comes out of that parameter, I have to kill it. You know, I can't go winging a prayer. Common sense. But what it kind of illustrates is they're asking the right questions, you know. It's like Daniel there when he's talking about overtrading. It's murder there, kid. It is really murder. And it's not murder so much on the account. It's murder on yourself. Because what happens is, if you're winning all the time, you think you're invincible. And then you'll take too big a risk. And that bigger risk will turn sour, as was said down there. And if you aren't prepared for it, it'll hurt you badly. So common sense is always a common theme running through my trading. But let me show you the figures. And then I'll spend just a minute or two talking about common sense. And I do value your comments because it's probably the most important part of trading that you'll ever come across. You see, everybody thinks it's strategy. It's not.
What?
Don't get me wrong, strategy has a lot to do with it, and you have to know what you're looking for. And if you can map a chart, see where the ignition point is, be able to understand how to find a bias, and then also understand what the parameters are that you're going to work within. In other words, where your upper targets are, your lower sort of targets to get out, how to stage into a trade, and also how to stage out of a trade. There is so much to it, but all of it is common sense. It always comes down to common sense. Now, with this particular sort of platform that we're seeing, I have to achieve 100 trades. I'm 66 in. I haven't lost one, not one. I've got 100% strike rate right through. Now, my performance factor is 2.7. It needs to be at 2. All right. Anything below 2, you fail. Over 2, you pass. So it's quite healthy at the moment. And I have to have 30 of them in what's called positive expectancy. You know, your performance factor, or your winning factor rather. And out of those 66, I've got 65. Now, there's one of them, which is here, is outside the line. Still made a profit of 75, but I had to close it. Why did I close it? It's because I saw the conditions change. The market was just going sideways. I wanted it to move up. It didn't. It started coming out. And the common sense thing to do was pull the plug. So, right, there's some money on the table. I've got a good idea this is going to go the other way because I reevaluate the chart at certain checkpoints. And if I think I'm wrong, game over. Just get out. Because who's to say I can't re-enter the market? Of course I can. It's common sense. You know, if I get out here and I've got profit, that's fine. And then the market tittles down here somewhere, but then I see the signs that it's going to go back up. I can re-enter and probably get back in at a better price. So taking my money has actually saved me money. Or I can get in back at the same place I was at. And what's it cost me? A couple of pips in spread? I'd rather that than let it rattle away and pray to God I can get it back reading the charts. So to me, that's common sense. So it's still 100% strike rate. As you can see, this started on the 12th of July, and it's now the end of the month, which is why we're looking at this stat. And between now and the end, then and the end of the month today, I've pulled in 20 grand. And my lot sizes is an average of 1.7, so it's less than what I normally take. So I'm being quite cautious with this. And then if you want to see the deal tickets, we'll pull all the deal tickets up and you can have a look at them as well. Because everyone goes, I need to see a deal ticket. It doesn't exist if I don't see a deal ticket. Show me your deal tickets. Right, okay, well, I'll show you my bloody deal tickets then, shall I? Right, I'll just move my head to the bottom. At least I will do in a minute. There we go. So you can see the top ones. We'll just run down and you'll be able to see all the deal tickets down to 1. Pop my head back to the top. And then you'll be able to see the bottom ones as well. So I think that is an exceptional result. I'm hoping to have this finished come the end of August. Certainly the end of September. Because the next part of common sense is knowing how to plan out what you're doing. And I'm a big believer in filters. So what does filters do? How does that work with common sense? It's very simple. You can have just 5 markets out of all the markets there is. So what you've done there is you've filtered the market. So you might only look at 5 instruments in a day. But how many of them do you want to trade? Can you trade all 5? Probably not. Because I couldn't. I can do 2 at once. I can look at that screen and that screen. But once you start getting more than that, you start diluting your focus. So you're better off filtering your 5 into 1. And then focus all your energy on a single market for that day. And I'm talking day trading here, guys. Because predominantly that's what I do, and it's where my wages comes from. Now, once you've zoned in onto one market, you then need to filter down again. So you will start at your daily and you'll look at the conditions to see what's going on. Okay, I think the market is moving up on a daily. Look on a 4-hour. Do the same process. Is the 4-hour agreeing with the daily? Yes, no. And then you start taking it down to the hourly. And what you're looking for is confluences down the time frames. Now, to me, this is common sense trading. And it's what keeps me sort of a very, very good win rate. And I get pulled on win rate all the time. I have a very high win rate. I genuinely do. It's well over 85%. It runs between 85 and 92. And the account that I've just shown you is 100%. But why is it like that? It's because I'm very selective with what I trade. I trade once or twice a day. And before I've even pressed the button, I've spent a good couple of hours doing a lot of homework, drilling down into that one trade. And then when I do press the button, it isn't on a whim. It's mapped out. I know exactly where the kill points are. I know where I'm going to get in, where I'm going to get out. And it keeps me calm, it keeps me grounded, and it allows me to, well, live a decent life, I suppose, because I don't give my money away.
Isn't that logical?
Now you tell me, is that not common sense? Because when I look at the markets, all I ever see all the time is, tell me your strategy. Why? What's the point of the strategy if you don't know the theory behind it? You know, I can show you a moving cross strategy anytime. I can show you GoldenEye anytime. I can show you a Fibonacci strategy anytime, a Bollinger Band strategy anytime. But unless you know what the conditions are that drive it, multiple time frame, they're useless, which is why I tell you strategy is not important. Reading the charts, understanding conditions, and understanding yourself is far more important than X marks the spot, as you see regularly, sort of, oh, follow my system, you'll be on 40 grand a year, or 40 grand a week was the last one I saw.
You ding dong!
Yeah, I've got a huge account. Well, I'm saying huge, it's 6 figures. I can't generate that amount of money. And I to put a pound to a penny, I am better at it than what he is. I'll guarantee it. You know, how do I know this? Because I don't sell courses to make any money. What I get comes off the screen. So it's a difficult one to discuss this. because you either understand it or you don't. Now, every one of my videos gets downvoted, every single one of them. And it's because I genuinely think people come on looking for the magic pill. They see the consistency, but then they can't replicate it. So they'll just downvote it. And they can't replicate it because they don't understand it. Trading is not easy. And it's certainly not quick. And if you're looking for quick money, the common sense thing to do is quit. Don't trade at all. But if you think I can make a career of this and I want to move forward with this, then common sense tells you get educated. Spend time on the charts. Do not risk huge amounts of money on an unknown, and apply common sense. And that's the best advice I can give you. And case in point, just sort of to wind this up a little bit, because I don't want to babble on too much. Try and think job. Always job. To me, this is a job. I come to the desk at the same time every day. I carry out my checkpoints the same way every morning. So just like any job, a professional job, an airline pilot will do the checks on the aeroplane. He'll know his destination route. He'll check through the gauges to make certain there's enough fuel in the thing. All of these different bits and pieces before he switches the engine on and takes you on the holiday we're all looking forward to. And what is that holiday? Well, the holiday is time freedom from your employer. Trading is your pilot's license to time freedom. But you have to put the work in. So before you press the button, you need to find the right market for the day. That market has to be filtered to make certain it's got enough fuel in the tank to give you enough money to buy the plane ticket to give you the holiday. It's the best analogy I can give you. So you tell me, guys, am I wrong? Do you think you should just be able to rock up, switch the computer on, press a couple of buttons and be rich? If you think it's that easy and you figured it out, please let me know, because I would love a bigger salary. I genuinely would. Might be able to buy a brand new car instead of a second-hand car. But up until that day, I'm just going to keep on chugging doing what I'm doing. I haven't lost a year in 7 years. I haven't lost a month in 3 years. And I'm happy. And I think that is the best reward. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.